June 14th, 1969. A family camping trip in the Great Smoky Mountains turns into one of the strangest disappearances in American history. 6-year-old Dennis Martin was there with his father, his grandfather, and his older brother, camping in a high mountain meadow called Spence Field. It was Father's Day weekend. The weather was warm. The forest was alive. And then, in less than 5 minutes, Dennis was gone. A single moment of laughter swallowed by silence. The Martins were a close-knit family from Knoxville, Tennessee, experienced hikers who knew these mountains well. They had camped in the Smokies before. This trip was tradition, fathers and sons heading out for a few days in the wilderness. On June 13th, they hiked from Cades Cove up to Spence Field, a grassy clearing nearly a mile above sea level, surrounded by ridges and dense forest. There they met another hiking family, also named Martin, though unrelated. The two groups camped together, sharing stories around the fire. The next afternoon, the children came up with a plan to sneak around and surprise the adults. Dennis would circle through the trees and jump out. His father, Bill Martin, saw him duck behind a bush, grinning. It was the last time anyone ever saw him. When Dennis didn't reappear, his father called his name, then ran to the spot where he had vanished. Within minutes, the families were combing the trees, shouting until dark, but the forest gave nothing back. That night, a heavy rainstorm swept across the mountains. Temperatures dropped into the 40s. Any tracks Dennis might have left were washed away. By morning, the park rangers had been alerted, and what followed became the largest search in Great Smoky Mountains history. Over the next week, more than 1,400 people joined: park staff, volunteers, Boy Scouts, and even the National Guard. But with so many searchers, the effort turned chaotic. Tracks were found, small footprints, possibly from a child, but dismissed as Boy Scouts. Helicopters circled overhead. Bloodhounds were flown in. Nothing. No clothing. No sign of struggle. Just a boy who had disappeared into thin air. As days passed, the case grew stranger. About 5 miles away, near Cades Cove, a man named Harold Key and his family reported hearing a scream echo through the valley that same evening. A child's scream. Moments later, they saw what they described as a rough-looking man moving quickly through the woods, possibly carrying something over his shoulder. The Key family told park rangers, but the report was delayed. And by the time investigators checked the site, days had passed. Meanwhile, rumors spread among searchers. Why were Green Berets suddenly in the park, operating separately from rangers? Heavily armed, silent, and secretive. Some say they were training nearby and volunteered. Others believe they were called in for something else, something never explained. For the Martin family, the mystery never ended. Dennis's father, Bill, returned to these mountains year after year, searching every ridge, every hollow, until his final days. He died without ever knowing what happened to his son. More than 50 years later, hikers still pass through Spence Field, unaware that beneath the whispering pines, one of the park's greatest mysteries remains unsolved. A child vanished, a storm rolled in, and the forest stayed silent. The file is closed, for now, until the next time we open the Trail Vault.